Welcome back to the channel and a very happy new year to you all. We are now in 2025. How quickly does time flow? And very apt to talk about time, we have one of the latest B&M Doctor Who exclusive free figure sets that just released early in December and hit B&M stores roughly around about, I think, the second week of December they started popping up. I saw this in my store. Obviously, from the original press release, I wasn't too fussed about this. I was like, yeah, I don't think I really need that. It's kind of, I don't need another Cyberman. I wasn't too fussed about the River Song variant. And it was another Clockwork droid. However, that changed when I saw it on the shelf. And I thought, oh, actually, that Clockwork droid is very, very nice and would obviously complete the ensemble of Clockwork droids from one of my favourite David Tennant 10th Doctor episodes, The Girl in the Fireplace. So, it got bought for me by the other half, by the missus, for future missus, because this is the year that we are getting married, as one of my Christmas presents. And obviously we'll be covering several of my Christmas presents over the next couple of weeks as I review the lots of goodies that I got. Speaking of goodies, though, a little quick mention of these lovely little salt and pepper pots that were bought for us by my fiance's uncle as a little present. So absolutely love these. I think they're fantastic. Two little police box salt and pepper shakers. So thank you very much for that. It really is appreciated. And I think they're going to replace the Lego ones that we currently use. So there you go. Thank you very much for that little stocking filler there. So anyway, onwards to this set. And obviously this is the December releases along with the Parting of the Ways History of the Daleks set that also has been released around December time. I haven't seen that on the shelves anywhere yet. I've just seen this one. And it was pretty speedily in my local B&M. So, they were obviously getting stuff out and putting them on the shelves ready for Christmas. So, we have a Cyber Leader here, which obviously we'll look at the differences between the original Cyber Leader that we've got here. We've got a new River Song, which utilises kind of like certain things from other figures, and obviously is a bit of a kit bash. And then we've got a repainted Clockwork droid, which kind of like finishes off the colours that you see in that episode. Obviously, the original release of the Clockwork droids were this one in the black livery, and then this one in the blue livery. Now, these were actually prone to the plastic to go a little bit funny on them. And as you can see, there's still a lot there. And it gets like a frosting on it for some reason. And I don't really know how that's happened, but it does happen with certain plastics that I used. And occasionally I do wipe them down. And obviously I've not done it for a while, but you can see that all under there, there's kind of like this plastic just generates kind of like a frosting on it for some reason. It's more visible on this one than it is on the black one, but you can still see under there that you can see it there on that one, and a little bit obviously on the bottom. So these need a bit of a wipe down to obviously get rid of that. However, so those were the original two Clockwork droids that were released in that Series 2 wave. And then in the, I think it was the Vesper form wave, we had this variant, which was the purple Clockwork droid, which had obviously some lovely detailing on it there. And this seems to be a different kind of plastic that they've used, or a different kind of paint that they've used, because obviously it's got a bit more of a shine to it. And it doesn't have that frosting effect that has happened on the original two releases. So obviously they modified that. And as with all these Clockwork droids, really cool feature is that you can pop the head off and you can see the Clockwork droid's head and the mechanism underneath that. So that was always a really cool feature. So let's hope that this one has that as well. So those are the original Clockwork droids. I'll just move them over there, out of the way. I hope that they don't fall down. Okay, let's move the Cyberman out of the way. Now, this set does have a variant. So, obviously, I've picked up the Cyber Leader that is in the set, but you also get a Chase variant. Again, it's 50-50 with these, a standard Cyberman. So, depending on which one you pick up or which one has been distributed to your local B&M store, or which ones you can find. You can either find a Cyber Leader, which is obviously indicated by the black handlebars on the head, or a standard Cyberman where they're just silver there. So, yeah, it's the usual packaging. Bizarrely, this is called a 10th Doctor set. And it's the Friend and Foes of the Doctor collector's figure set. However, that is the only figure that is from a 10th Doctor episode. If you look at the back, you'll see that the River Song figure is based on her appearance from the Pandora Opens, and the Cyberman with the heavy weapon is based on the Cybermen as they appear in A Good Man Goes to War. Now, obviously, you'll notice that those two episodes are actually 11th Doctor Matt Smith episodes. They're not David Tennant episodes. So for some reason, bizarrely, I don't know why this has been labelled the 10th Doctor, because there's only one out of the 3 figures here that is from a 10th Doctor episode. So a bit of a cock up there from character, but never mind that. Let's actually open the packaging and have a closer look at the figures. So as with most of the sets these days, we're not having a plastic window on the actual outer packaging. They're just kind of like plastic molded to the inner packaging, which means that we don't get any of these kind of like dioramas in the back. You just got that kind of like standard time tunnel effect that they've implemented. Obviously, the Emperor Davros re-release had a diorama on the back, and obviously was a little bit ruined by the fact that they like glued the plastic to the back of that diorama, which made it increasingly difficult for you to actually get the figures out, and also like make sure the diorama was intact if you wanted to display that. So yeah, a little bit of a stupid thing there, but yeah, that's obviously how the packaging is done these days with character B&M exclusives. I get it, I understand it's using less plastic, I think, but obviously there's no real easy way of getting these figures out. You're just going to have to rip and tear just to make sure that you get them out, because as you can see, that plastic is really sealed right at the top. So you could kind of try and do it with a Stanley knife, but yeah, I think however you're going to get these figures out, you're going to make a bit of a pig's ear of the inner packaging. So, case in point, obviously looking at that's obviously that, and that's me being gentle. That's me being very, very kind of careful. That is just really, really, yeah, a bit of a mess. So probably not going to be keeping this packaging. Given the state of it, I'll just obviously be keeping the figures.
What is the Doctor's message?
So let's look at the Cyber Leader first, or Cyberman, depending on what set you get. And obviously this is from the Matt Smith mid-season Series 6 episode, A Good Man Goes to War, which sees the Cybermen briefly in the opening scenes of the episode. It does come with an accessory, and we've had this gun before, but we haven't had it with this paint job. Usually it's just in standard black plastic, but they've actually put a bit of a wash on there on this one, which is kind of nice. Gives it a bit more extra detail there. So you have the big cyber rifle here, and it's evident straight away that they've been given a bit of a shinier paint job here. It's not really coming across, I don't think, as well in the camera, but certainly in person, you can see that the paint used is a lot shinier than the kind of like the dull silver that they used for Cyberman figures previously when dealing with the ones from the new series. So obviously you'll notice that the main differences are that obviously this is a Cyberman from like kind of like that alternative reality, and then obviously when they kind of like stopped dealing with that, they changed the main chest plate there and obviously just made it a general like circle. But there certainly is a difference in the paint job. Obviously it's shinier silver used, and also it's a darker grey and wash used on the inner part of the Cyberman costume. So you can see that, and I actually think that makes it stand out an awful lot more. I think it actually looks a lot better and kind of like more faithful and realistic to the actual prop itself, because the kind of like the outer obviously parts were a dull like kind of like silver, so they've obviously changed that paint job there, but the kind of like the inner costume that the actors and extras wore as the Cyberman was always kind of like this black with kind of like a bit of a greyness to it. So the fact that obviously it was always done in the same colour all over on the original figures obviously is a difference there. So that's a nice variant to have. Obviously we can pose him with the gun. I have that, obviously that figure has a fist. I've got him in a kind of like David Banks cyber leader pose, going excellent, on my shelf. And then we've got this kind of thing here, and if I remember rightly, his hand fits in very, very nicely there and holds the gun in place. So you've got cyber leader or a Cyberman, depending on what set you get, looking very, very shiny and looking very, very cool, posed with that huge cyber rifle. So nice figure to have, nice update, nice paint job, a lot better paint job, I think. And obviously it's great to have in your collection if you haven't got too many Cybermen from the original releases. Now, just as a quick aside, as I was editing this video and looking for appropriate clips to put in from the various episodes that these figures are from, I noticed that in A Good Man Goes to War, the Cyber Leader is not this version of the Cyber Leader with the black handles. It's actually this version of the Cyber Leader that has the brain on show and the black handles and then the black faceplate. So it looks like character have kind of like made a boo-boo here and put the wrong Cyber Leader in the packs. Now I get it, because obviously it's a chase variant, so it's easier to issue this figure with just like 50% of the Cybermen with black handles and call it a Cyber Leader, and then obviously the other 50% in these sets as standard silver handles and just the Cyberman. So I can get why they haven't included that, because it probably would have been an additional expense. But it is a little shame that we haven't had a re-release of this figure, because that is a very, very cool kind of like version of the Cyber Leader, especially with the brain on show there. So there you go. That's something that I discovered as I was editing this video.
Queen, what are you doing here?
It's about the Doctor, Mum. You met him once, didn't you? I know he came here.
Doctor?
He's in trouble. I need to find him.
On to the River Song figure now. Okay, so this is obviously a bit of a cheat. It's not quite the same as the outfit that she wears in the opening of the Pandorica Opens, but, you know, bar huge amounts of retooling, I get what character have done here. Because they have essentially just painted the previous River Song figure black and added a different belt. So it is exactly more or less the same figure as previously. However, I'm not too sure about the sculpt, because I'm thinking the sculpt is different. So they may have, I think, done a different head sculpt, because that's the original Pandorica Opens River Song, and that's the main outfit that she wears throughout that episode. And obviously she has the gun there, and we do have the gun accessory, which is done far better, I think, than that one. It's more of a brushed silver, so that looks cool on both sides, so that's nice to see. But yeah, and you've got the addition of this kind of like this belt that she's got with these attachments on there, which obviously is just put around the actual figure, with a nice bit of paintwork on there on the buckles. In fact, actually, it's not a new thing, because if we just look at that, it's exactly the same. My bad. Yeah, except for it's just painted better. And higher up for some reason, so I think that needs to be pushed down a little. So yeah, this is essentially the same figure, but she's just obviously been cast in black plastic, and obviously re-released. Now, looking at the original River Song that we got from Silence of the Library, obviously you can see they've not used that head sculpt there, because she's got her hair tied back. And then we had another River Song figure. Obviously, this one came out in a variant because it had an addition to her hair, because I think the previous release made her look like she was actually bald and wearing a bit of a wig. So they did amend that. They did a running change in that figure. And then we got this one. Spoilers for Series 6, if you want to know who the Impossible Astronaut is. It's actually River. Yeah, and that looks like a completely different head sculpt as well. So I think, or does it? I don't know. The paint job is very, very different. She's very kind of like tanned in there. But yeah, I think this is a brand new head sculpt. So obviously, yeah, reuse of a previous figure, but with a brand new head sculpt there. So I'm just going to try and move that down a little, just so it looks a little bit better, and put it more to the side. So yeah, that actually looks a little bit better, rather than it kind of like just hanging about her waist there. And let's pose her with the gun. Obviously she can have the gun in her hand, if that fits. Why doesn't it fit? There you go. So you can have her with the gun, or you can put the gun in the holster, should you choose to. So the gun fits in there as well. So yeah, it's a nice variant to have. Looks like a brand new head sculpt. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking new head sculpt on an existing figure with a variant paint application. Not bad when you think about it. 3 figures for the price, well, cheaper than the price of like one Hasbro Marvel Legends or Star Wars Black Series. Yeah, still not bad.
What do monsters have nightmares about?
So here we come to the third and final figure, and this is obviously the reason why I got this set, just because this looks so much better in person than it did in the pre-publicity photos that were released by Character and B&M when they announced these sets. And yeah, it is the Clockwork droid in gold livery there for you. So again, it's not this one. So it has the... this one is probably I would say, obviously the rarest now, because of the differences to the jacket. It is a variant of these two here, which are the blue and the purple. So obviously repainted as such. But yeah, lovely detail on there. And I just think these Clockwork droids are just fantastic. They were a brilliant idea. And so creepy as well, with the standard kind of like mask. And just an amazing concept. Stephen Moffat, I think, continues to really do an excellent job when he writes for Doctor Who. He is a very, very talented writer. One of the best writers I think we've had certainly in the new series era, I think, he probably, I would say he's as good as the Robert Holmes in my regard. And obviously he wrote the recent Christmas special, which aired a week ago today on Christmas Day, Joy to the World, which I actually thought was Ncuti Gatwa's best episode so far. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great Christmas special. And I am recording a Trout Bomb podcast actually tomorrow night, which I think is released later this weekend. So I'll leave some links in the description and on the community page once that's been released. So yeah, we're having a bit of a panel discussion about the latest Doctor Who Christmas special by Stephen Moffat also. So yeah, I think this is great. It's fantastic. I think it's a wonderful paint job. And like I say, this is the fourth and final colour that we see the Clockwork droids obviously in. Lovely paint detail on the back, which they could have skipped at given the budget price of these figures. Let's just check the head. Yay! It still has the feature of the Clockwork head underneath, which is a great little feature. So you could have a couple of these if you've got them displayed like that, and then obviously displayed with the head as well. It does come with his little weapon, which was kind of like this kind of like clockwork thing that sprung out from their arm. So let's just put that in there. If you can see, I don't know whether you can, there is a little kind of like indentation where that goes in and clips in there. So that is really cool. So you can have them obviously with that as their like little weapon there. So I absolutely love this. It's great to have another Clockwork droid. I hope that one day we do get the two Clockwork women that were variants as well, that were in the episode. I think, character, if they used a little bit of cleverness, they could probably kit bash either the Jabe or the Gelf zombie figure and then put the Clockwork heads on those figures and perhaps like do a bit of a kit bash and release those. That'd be nice to have in the collection. But yeah, this is the main reason why I got this set or asked for this set, because I just love this colour, this variant of the Clockwork Man. So there you have it. As always with these B&M exclusive releases, majority of them are always like kind of like re-releases, repaints of existing figures. So if you are late to the range, or you can't obviously afford to get some of the original releases, such as these guys, who I know still go for quite a lot of money, and obviously like the original Pandorica Opens River Song, then this is a great way at $21.99 to pick up free figures and expand your collection. But yeah, I'm really pleased with this. I'm glad I changed my mind. Obviously, I saw it on the shelf and I just thought, yeah, actually, I will ask for this set. And it was a lovely Christmas present. And yeah, I just think that Clockwork Man is just absolutely spectacular. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, our first video of the year. And again, we've got lots of exciting things in 2025 planned. I've got another video coming up very, very quickly, hopefully to drop around about Friday or Saturday this weekend, which is dealing with a NECA figure that I got, which was a little Christmas present to myself. I'm not going to tell you what NECA figure it is. You'll have to watch the video to tune in. But if you like this one, please leave us a like. Share it with any other Doctor Who collectors out there, or any collectors of action figures in general. Also, don't forget, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified whenever we upload any brand new videos. Like I said, lots of cool stuff to come, so stay tuned, and we'll see you very, very soon on Bearded Geek Toy Reviews. Bye now.
Now it's time to send in the troops. Happy New Year!